My guest today is Michael Stroev. Michael is, I believe, the CEO at Venga, which is a universal crypto app aiming at bridging decentralized finance and traditional banking, helping to bring crypto to the masses. Welcome to the show, Michael.
Hi, Andy. Great to be on the show. Thank you.
A pleasure. Great to have you on the show, Michael. Let's do what we do at the beginning of the show. It would be cool if you could please introduce yourself. I would love to hear some of your personal and professional backstory. Yeah, what have you been doing in the lead up to joining the team at Venga?
Sure. So let's put it this way. I have been in the crypto space since approximately 2016, 2017. Not professionally, though, personally. I bought my first Bitcoin back then. To be very transparent, I didn't hold on to it for a very long time. Sold it quite quickly afterwards. And I definitely have approximately 0.2 BTC stuck on a wallet somewhere. I wasn't involved in the crypto space professionally until 2020. In 2020, I joined a company called Nebis as COO and head of product and led that company from zero to millions of euros in volumes yearly. And in 2023, I joined Venga as CEO to lead the team and form the company and the app that we're building right now. And just to go back to what you said in the introduction, and just to maybe like add a little bit to that, you said that we're, let's say, bridging DeFi and Web3 to traditional banking, which, yes, I mean, in essence, it is to some extent correct because we're allowing fiat on ramps and off ramps, right? But in reality, the goal of what we're building, right, the mission behind Venga is to bring innovations to the masses, right? Is to focus on all the new stuff that is being built in DeFi, in Web3 as a whole, right? And make all those things discoverable, more easy to use, and educate people about the wider, let's say, blockchain and Web3.
Yep, sounds great. Very well said, Michael. And just, of course, crypto is global, but be useful just to understand. I believe you guys are based in Europe, Barcelona. You guys are in Barcelona, is that correct?
Exactly. We're based in Europe. We're based in Barcelona. The whole team business unit is based here, but the team works remotely across all of the EU.
Yeah. And I suppose worth just covering, who are you aiming Venga at? Are you starting with kind of, I suppose, a more like EU-based customer segment, or are you going global straight away? How are you thinking about it?
So we're primarily targeting EU, of course, right? Because we're based here and we can't target globally. That's just going to be too expensive from a marketing perspective. Even targeting all of the EU is quite expensive, right? But in any case, we're English first and we're live in all of the EU, but we're also live worldwide, except for restricted countries. The only difference is that basically we're not doing active marketing anywhere outside of, let's say, the EU, and specifically even outside of the countries in which we're allowed to do active marketing, which are Spain and Poland. Everything else, in essence, if someone wants to use our app, someone discovers us and reads about us on Twitter, reads about us in the news and wants to join our app, download us and join our app, become a user, they're more than welcome to.
So with Spain and Poland, and yeah, I think so that means it's called like a license as a virtual asset service provider in Europe, isn't it?
Exactly. It's called a VASP. We hold two VASP licenses, one in Spain and one in Poland, which allow us to serve customers in those countries, but also serve customers in the EU and worldwide.
Yep. And so what about the typical, so we've established, your customers are in Europe. What does that customer look like? Is it, are you kind of targeting DeFi natives or people that are just kind of willing to maybe take their first step into crypto and then kind of at the beginning of their journey? What are we looking at? Or maybe it's all of the above?
Both. It's all of the above, right? Obviously, we're building an app that's easy to use and with like a mission to onboard more people to crypto. So that in essence, right, underlines that we're targeting people who are new to space and we want to bring all of those people into crypto, right? But at the same time, myself and all of my team comes from crypto, right? So we as crypto users, right, want to build a product that is also great and interesting and useful for us. And that also implies being useful for DeFi natives, right? So we're trying to like capture both sides of the market, being interesting and easy to use for the masses while staying useful and an app that makes sense for DeFi enthusiasts and people from the crypto space.
Yeah. And all right, well, so talk us through where you guys are at, because I think the app was launched earlier this year. So I guess there would have been a little bit of a journey getting to that point. But of course, there'll be various different features that I'm sure you're working on. So maybe just to start with, be interested to hear a bit about, what it was like building the app in the beginning and getting that launched. That's always quite a fraught process for a startup.
Of course, yeah. It's not even during this year, we officially announced that our app is live at the European Blockchain Convention here in Barcelona, and this was at the end of September this year. So really just maybe 3 weeks ago. So we're live then. It's been a journey to get here, and we're still on a journey, because right now we're essentially live just with basic products, allowing people to buy, sell, swap cryptocurrencies, and we launched on-chain staking for Ethereum. But for us, the journey right now until the end of the year is launching products that will allow us to be competitive in the space. And that's just essentially base products that our competitive apps have, such as, let's say, a more robust cryptocurrency exchange, right? Or the fiat on-ramps and off-ramps that I was talking about, right? And then already part of my team is working on innovative products that we will bring to our app in 2025. So it's really like launching, step 1, being competitive, step 2, and becoming unique, step 3, right? And we're doing all of that simultaneously and working on let's say, the roadmap, tight deadlines, and trying to accomplish all these things today, right? Tomorrow.
Yeah, of course, there's a tricky balancing act, I'm sure. And at the same time, you're trying to acquire users, user acquisition, which is, tremendously difficult for any startup. What are you doing in terms of, I guess, what's your user acquisition strategy at the moment, and how's that going?
So it's a mix between inbound and outbound marketing, right? So inbound meaning that we produce content, right? That's interesting, and we, try to attract people by all the, let's say, interesting articles that we put out left and right? Whether it's on our blog, whether it's on our Twitter, on our social media, whether it's in the news, right? And things like this. But at the same time, we're just now starting our outbound strategy, right? And that means really like paying for customers and going to different various channels to find those customers, right? So it's a mix of both, but we're very, very early on that journey right now. In essence, right now, we're just, let's say, relying on word of mouth. We're relying on media. We're relying on PR. We're relying primarily on all the inbound stuff and all the inbound stuff, and all the outbound marketing. We're going to be starting it. We're starting it right now, actually. Like right after EBC, we kicked off the execution phase of starting, let's say, actively seeking customers, right? So outbound going, right? And we're going to, let's say, be exploring more and more channels and increasing that from today up until forever, basically.
And how would you describe I suppose, the mood in Europe in terms of, people looking to make the switch over to engaging with the crypto ecosystem? Because I'm sure, it's been a funny old year, Michael, in terms of the crypto market. It's kind of been, are we in a bull market? Kind of, but, not really. Just kind of been ranging. Everyone's waiting for the bull market to properly start. And kind of a reflection of that, you see, I don't know if you've seen the Google search trends for Bitcoin have really fallen off. So there's not necessarily a high level of, let's just call it, I guess, retail participation or new retail investors coming into crypto yet. It's not to say that it won't happen. Of course, it will happen at some point. But yeah, how do you how would you characterize the kind of atmosphere, if you like, in Europe in terms of that new crowd coming into crypto?
I would say that people are still coming in. I would say that it's kind of wobbly, exactly like you said, are we in the bull market? Are we not in the bull market? Are new people coming in? Are they not coming in? It's kind of, let's say, a little bit all over the place. But in essence, Europe right now, in my opinion, is very tightly linked to the US market, right? And everything that is happening on the US side, specifically with the elections, which are affecting the market as a whole, right? So everything is on like a standstill. waiting for the results of the election and to see which presidential candidate wins and how that will affect the wider market, because that will affect the wider market. How and to what extent it will affect the market, we don't know. But in any case, right now, everyone's kind of waiting, and EU is very tightly linked to that. From a user perspective, I mean, nothing has changed over the past years. People are still interested. People are still slowly coming on board. And there have been many, many new projects that have been built or are being built all the way since the, let's say, 2020 FTX crash and everything that was happening in the, let's say, in the bear market, right? So a lot of projects have started being built since then, are still being built right now, including Venga, by the way, right? A lot of projects are seeing an immense amount of funding right now, right? So all of those things are gonna, let's say, come to a point where they're going to help acquire more market, more users, right? And bring and increase, let's say, the whole, let's say, global, let's say, blockchain space with more users.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
that's gonna happen. We're still waiting for that.
Yeah. I think you're exactly right about the US election. I think that's just the way the world works. All markets are looking to the US at the moment to see what will happen. But I thought it was interesting. I don't know if you saw Larry Fink from BlackRock's as comments about how really it's not going to matter in the end who ends up being the next president, or whether it's the Democrats or Republicans. You know, the fact that at least I think Harris has warmed up crypto more than perhaps the Biden administration. Trump certainly much more favorable, but I think that at this point, I think it feels like Bitcoin is ready to rip, but post-election, shall we say?
Right. Potentially. Like, it's very difficult to gauge the effect of these things, right? It's, for example, I believe this was back in 2021 or 2022, when China banned crypto. So right prior to that, again, the whole market was speculating that, okay, if this happens, the whole market is going to collapse. Everything is going to drop like a rock. It's going to be the end of crypto, blah, blah, blah. And then it happened. It did drop, but it was insignificant. It dropped for one day and then it rebounded, and that's it. And that really didn't affect anything. However, right now, I don't know if you saw, like, this week, or essentially what happened was there was a micro boom, right? Because China what was it called? They issued more what was it? They're giving I forgot the word.
Stimulus.
Exactly, stimulus. Yeah, they're giving more stimulus, and they announced that they would be continuing to give stimulus, and that, like, let's say, propelled, I think, ETH to go from, let's see, 2.4K to 2.6K, right? And it's still somewhere up there. So again, it's still influencing, right, a little bit, but not that significantly. US, of course, is a much bigger influence on the market as a whole. But again, you can never gauge the actual implications of all these things and how these things will play out.
That's right. Taking it back to Europe, what's it like trying to get a banking relationship in Europe at the moment? If you're, like a crypto app or a crypto startup, is it easy enough to do business with the banks, or?
It's still tough. We need to go through loops and, let's say, processes, right? Loops and hoops to get approval, right? Not all banks accept crypto. So they can open your account, and then the next day they can say, oh, look, we didn't realize that you work with crypto, and then they close your bank account. I've had that happen a lot of times, right? And even, like, the last time it happened was this year, right? So something that hasn't changed even since 2020, even though licensings are present, right? Spain has had a VASP license present and live and active since 2021, I believe. So Bank of Spain knows it, all the banks know it, but they still, let's say, don't trust it. And it's under their own discrepancy if they want to work with crypto or not. So it's really just a matter of being honest, open, and trying to find the right banking partner. That's it. But it's still possible. We're alive. We're running our business, and everything is good.
Of course. You said, Michael, before that the app obviously has launched, and you've got a number of products are available at the moment, but the game is to kind of stay in the game and keep executing and keep building and delivering more products to stay competitive. So maybe just talk us through yeah, again, the products that are live now on Venga and what you've got in the pipeline, what you want to bring to your customers, your users, as soon as you can.
Sure. So about the products that are live now. Right now, it's buying crypto and selling crypto, in essence, through a third-party integration that allows you to buy and sell crypto through, using your bank card and to your bank card and other payment methods, right? It's a simple swap, crypto through a third-party provider, going from currency A to currency B. Nothing extraordinary, nothing wow, right? And we have on-chain stake of Ethereum, right? That you can stake your ETH and earn. I think right now we have to 3.2% APY on the app, approximately. Again, the standard, set of, base products that a wallet usually has, right? In the pipeline right now, next up is a more robust exchange that we're developing, right? That will allow you to, trade more coins. We're also developing IBANs for on-ramping and off-ramping euros. So essentially you'll have your euro wallets in Venga, and that will allow you to essentially deposit euros, move those euros swap those euros into, any currency that you like, USDT, transfer them out to an exchange, or transfer them, swap them to Bitcoin and Ethereum directly on the app, and hold them on the app. If you go move into ETH, you can stake the that ETH and keep them on Venga and things like that. And then before the end of the year, we're launching a very cool, great looking, amazing UX UI exchange. Not full, exchange like the likes of Binance or Kraken. So not like a professional exchange. Like I initially called it a semi-pro exchange, right? Which kind of, associates, in my mind at least, more with something of, I don't know if you know, like Revolut style, exchange, or Binance Lite, if you want. Something that is a little bit more simple, but has all the, tools necessary to allow you to trade crypto. So we're launching that before the end of this year. And that's our pipeline of products right now and before the end of the year. So that will allow us to essentially have, products that are allowing us to be competitive on the market, to be present, to make sense to people who are new to the space and for people who are from the space, right? From both sides, right? Then for 2025, the first, products that are up on our roadmap are additional and new earn products. So we're increasing the amounts of coins that we'll be able to stake on through Venga, right? So on-chain staking. And we're working on multiple other, new earn products that will allow you to tap into DeFi yields, right? Not going to go too much into detail in that yet, because that's still, under development. But in essence, that's, again, one of those, innovations that we want to bring. There's a lot of stuff happening in DeFi on the earn side of the world, right? And for, more traditional users to tap into that, they just need to be from the space. You cannot not be from the space and go into all the, the new stuff that allows you to have more yields in DeFi. You need to, first of all, have at least one wallet, and that I'm going to say at least, right? It's probably going to be multiple wallets, right? That you operate, that you know how to operate, that you know how to, transfer funds to and from. You're going to have to interact with smart contracts. You're going to need to have to do a lot of research to discover, what is out there, where can you earn that yield? And then you're going to have to uncover if that is trustworthy, go through all that process. So what we are going to do is essentially allow users to not need to do all of that hassle, right? We're going to bring all those tools through to Venga, and users will be able to tap into them through one button, right, to access earn and have a list of different, earn options. So on-chain staking is one of them. And then there'll be a list of other, DeFi or other, yield products available that they can tap into, and we'll educate them about those products through UX and UI, in essence. So that's the, the next thing on the roadmap. And then we're also looking into a lot in the space of the RWAs, but I'm not going to go too much into detail on that yet, just not to reveal so much. And I have at least 2 other products in the pipeline, but as well, I can't really disclose them. So just take my word for it that they're going to be awesome and cool, and no one is working on these things yet. At least in the CPI space, they're not.
Sounds like a busy product pipeline there, Michael. One thing I don't think you did mention, but it is mentioned on your website. I think you guys are going to look at a token at some point.
Yep. We're definitely considering it. Well, not considering it. We're planning it, right? I actually announced it at BBC, right? That we are planning a token. The only thing is that I'm not actively speaking about it yet, right? because I do not want to launch a token just for the sake of launching a token, right? We know how these things go. I don't want this to be a pump and dump where we launch a token, it flies up, skyrockets because we attracted investors and then they all, let's say, cash out and the token has no utility whatsoever, apart from just being associated with our brand, and people are going to be buying it for speculative reasons because they think that we're going to do something cool with it. I want there to be something cool to do with it from day one, right? So I want a use case associated with it. I want it to be different. I don't want it to be a pump and dump, right? And yeah, so in essence, I'm taking my time in developing it because I want this token to be a success and I want it to be different and I want it to be useful for the people who are going to hold it. And I don't just want it to be speculation. Speculation is always going to be there, of course, right? We're in crypto. So speculation is always going to be there, but I really want this to be a more of a utility, let's say, based use case than just speculation.
Makes sense, Michael. All right. Just to finish up this part of the podcast, what does Venga mean?
Venga means come on in Spanish. So it's a sentence. It's a word that is used daily, right, in Spanish. So for example, like if we were to start this podcast together, I would say like Venga, empezamos. Venga, vamos. Right. So it's really like actually it's when I have people who join my team who are from Spain. When they obviously know that they're joining Venga, and after they join, they tell me that they realize only after they joined Venga how often they actually use the word Venga in their daily, let's say, life, because now they work for a company called Venga. So every time they say Venga to anyone, it kind of rings a bell like off of the company that they're working for. So it's a super commonly used word, and it signifies come on, like speed, rapidity, at least in my mind, right? Let's go forward. And we really, let's say, built this word, like we built it into the brand, right? And built the brand around the word of, let's say, moving forward, moving up, strength, force, speed, rapidity, and let's say financial freedom and growth.
Very, very nicely said, Michael. All right. Well, just to finish up this part of the podcast, tell people, where they can go to get the Venga app, what they should do, where they should go, and why they should.
Very simple. Venga.com, exactly as it sounds. Venga.com. You go to the website. We have links everywhere to download the app. If not, you can find us on the iOS App Store as well. If you type Venga crypto, it probably will be simpler to find us because if you type with Venga, there are a few other apps that have the same name that are not associated with us in any way, but they are present there. So Venga crypto, Venga.com, and then on our social medias everywhere. Again, we're Venga app in multiple in most of the social medias. We're called Venga app.
All right. Well, easy as that, folks. Venga.com. Link is in the show notes. Look, Michael, it is time to finish off the show, and we do that, of course, by running you through the very famous crypto conversation hot take round. Are you up for it?
Sure. Let's do it.
Yes, let's do it. I'm just going to run some questions at you, Michael. What I want you to do is give me your honest hot take style answers, if you like. It's just a bit of fun. Question one for you is, where would you say that you sit on the Bitcoin maximalist to multi-chain opportunist spectrum?
I would say I'm more on the multi-chain. I'm definitely not a Bitcoin maxi. I have a lot of respect for Bitcoin maxis and for Bitcoin as a whole, of course. But I'm definitely more on the new chains and altcoins and multi-chain.
All good, no problem. What would you say then, Michael, is your firmest conviction crypto opinion?
I believe in the future of decentralization and the future of ownership, right? And everything that Web3 brings. So even though I am working in a CeFi app, I believe that, let's say, everything that is in Web3 is all about ownership, right? And essentially we're moving into a Web 3.0 world. But I think that in the future, we'll settle somewhere in a Web 2.5 world, right? So let's say full decentralization, but with centralized features, or centralization with decentralized features.
Yeah, nicely said. All right. Bill Gates famously said that we tend to overestimate what we can accomplish in 2 years and underestimate what we can accomplish in 10. 10 years in blockchain is a very long time, Michael, but anything you like here, DeFi, Web3, Venga, the intersection of all of these things, what does it all look like in 10 years' time?
10 years. Wow. Well, let's put it this way. I can say in at least, let's say 2 years, right? Let's put it this way. Let's put a target of 2, 3, right? In 2-3 years, we hope to be in top 3 of crypto apps in Europe. That's our target, right? We want to be in the top 3 list of go-to crypto CeFi apps in Europe. So if anybody is looking for crypto, if anybody is looking for innovations, I want them to say Venga, right? So where do I go to do this? It's Venga. Where do I go to, let's say, tap into education? Venga. Where do I go to stake? Venga. Where do I go to earn? Venga. Where do I go to discover anything that's out in space? I want this to be Venga, and I want us to be at the top 3. So that's my goal for the next, let's say, 2-3 years. 10 years is obviously way ahead, and it's probably impossible for me to forecast that.
William Gibson famously said, Michael, that I'll do that again. William Gibson, sci-fi author, said that the future is already here. It's just not evenly distributed. With that in mind, can you think of an example of the future being here right now, but most people aren't aware of it?
Well, I would say realistically, it's the space in which we are, right? Web3 and crypto. I believe that everything that comes with decentralization, that is kind of the future. It's already here. Again, going back to what I said previously, the Web 3.0, right? The ownership era of let's say the internet, that's here, but it's not being used enough, right? Again, due to the lack of education, the barriers of education to enter the space and to understand everything around it. And also not even the education, but it's also the barriers of entry due to roadblocks that are imposed by large companies, institutions, and governments, right? So it's a lot of these things mixed together that are not, let's say, that are impeding, right, the quick spread of this technology and the usefulness of it to the masses, right? So the future is already here. It's taking time for it to enter everyone's lives.
Yes, indeed. Very well said. Brings us nicely to the final question, Michael, which is, what is your favorite science fiction book, film, or TV show?
I'll say film, Interstellar. That's definitely one of my favorites, let's say, movies of all time, simply because I love interstellar travel, and let's say traveling to the unknown is something that always drives me. Whether, let's say, it's in, let's say, science fiction books, science fiction movies, but also in life and as an entrepreneurial, right, or a business career, right, where kind of you can associate that to career, right, and to Venga, right, into a startup. You're venturing into into the unknown, into the interstellar space of Web3, crypto, and startups and entrepreneurship, right? And you never know where you will land, but you just need to shoot to the stars and go as far as you can.
I like it. Very nicely said. Shout out to Christopher Nolan, Interstellar, to the stars and beyond. Yes, indeed. Thank you very much for coming and spending some time with us today on the show, Michael. Pleasure talking to you. Close it out by telling people, I don't know, where you like to hang out online, what your Twitter handle is, and of course, again, why and where people should go to get involved and download the Venga app.
So I primarily online hang out in LinkedIn, as counter, let's say, cryptic as that sounds, right? I do have a Twitter account, X account, right? It's at Michael Stroev. LinkedIn is Stroev, Michael Stroev. You can find me there. Most of my, let's say, long read posts, I post them on LinkedIn. Twitter, I use sometimes and just casually, but just honestly, I don't have enough time to spend on social media, and I'm constantly trying to find time to do so more. Just need to change that. But yeah, you can easily find me on LinkedIn. You can easily find me on Twitter, and connect with me there. And Venga, as I said, it's venga.com. Download the app, give us a try, and give us your feedback.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michael. All the best, and bye for now.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Randy.